Hoang Vi Fessenden is a food blogger, a mom, and a content creator who loves food and beauty here in the Lowcountry. She tells me what she's working on right now for this edition of Quintin's Close-Ups. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel and like Quintin's Close-Ups on Facebook. Hoang Vi Fessenden, welcome to Quintin's Close-Ups.
Hello, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. Needless to say, you are a mom, a content creator, and a food blogger. You mentioned on your website that you are actually a beauty foodie mom. And obviously you love motherhood, lifestyle, fashion, food. So tell me, what's new, what's now in your world?
What's new? Oh my gosh, Charleston has so many new restaurants. I feel like during the week I go to at least 3 to 4 PR launches or events that have, Charleston restaurants, and I love the diversity of restaurants that are finally coming to Charleston. Because I am actually a Charleston local. I'm sure you are as well. And I've lived here since I was 8 years old.
That's amazing. Yeah, I'm born and raised right here on the east side of Charleston. But let me ask you this. Now that these diversity is coming into to the Charleston, well, coming onto the Charleston restaurant scene, what else is missing from the Charleston restaurant scene that you want to see?
I would like a more collaborative group of like I feel like Lunar New Year's, right, is an Asian celebrated like New Year's. I wish that we had a community where it's kind of like Black Food Fridays, but once a year we get like a community of Asians together and we celebrate New Year's together.
That's really amazing. What else do you want to bring together when it comes to to obviously the food scene here in Charleston, motherhood, and actually lifestyle?
I love the motherhood community here, actually. So we've connected on so many levels. I feel like they've brought not only just bringing food together with families, but so many more brands that I did not know about that brings moms together that are kid friendly and spots that we can bring not only ourselves but our children because they're like a huge part of our lives. So I love that. That is one of the cool things that Charleston has is family friendly spots.
Wow. Which one of those family friendly spots resonates with you and your family?
Recently, we went to Tinto Cafe. It has a little bit of everything, and it just opened like I want to say
Right.
last week. Yeah, right down the street on John
Yeah.
Street,
Yes, it is.
and it offers a build your own charcuterie cone, which is very different from any spot, right? So it's that's for the adults. You can have wine, but then of course they have the sweet treats, they have the pastries, and they have ice cream and the best gelato in town.
That's really really amazing. You talk about in town. Obviously, as you just mentioned, we all see your content a lot on social media, particularly Facebook and Instagram. Which one of those foods really stands out with you?
Oh my gosh, that is such a hard question because I feel like there's so many favorites. Like, I mean, I could probably ask you what your favorite is, and you'd have to say, what is my favorite
Pretty.
Italian or what is my favorite sushi? What is, so um, something that was extremely different for me that I experienced was Bearcat. I love that it wasn't a specific cuisine. Like usually you go to get American fare or seafood. Obviously in Charleston, so the Bearcat in West Ashley is kind of like a tasting menu, kind of chef's table. You can order things a la carte, but you get dishes that are Japanese, you get dishes that are Southern, you get dishes that are American, and then you get some like funky, fun dishes that are creative of the chefs.
Wow. What is something that you? What's one of that? What's one food item I should say that you hope that one of the chefs can make with that funky style that you just mentioned?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm Vietnamese.
Yes.
I really wish that there was a it's called Ba Ka, and Little Miss Ha that used to be here. She used to make it as a special on her menu for the Lunar New Year's. But I wish that that would be like a staple dish at any of the Vietnamese restaurants, so I can go there and get my comfort food. It's like a spicy beef broth with all these spices and herbs, and then you
Ah,
have vegetables.
yes.
It's It's so delish.
Wow, I bet it is. So, what exactly is your comfort food?
Oh my gosh, there's so many. Okay, Nigel's
Yes.
has the best fried chicken, and their mashed potatoes and their gravy. That is, I think. So when I was younger, and my dad owned a nail shop next to Publix Foods, and they also have really good fried
Chicken.
chicken.
Yes.
So I grew up on like we would go next door to Publix, and we would get like a box of fried chicken, and we would just like go to town with it and get some mac and cheese. So like I think that brings back my childhood memories is that's like my comfort food.
Wow. So, in Charleston, what are those other childhood memories when it comes to food?
Oh my gosh. Well, like I mentioned, I feel like it's like very much evolved because when I was younger, like besides Publix fried chicken and mac and cheese, at home that was where my comfort food was. But then now that we've gotten a lot more like Vietnamese food,
Yes.
like bone banh mi, uh, mi sao, what else? Xiao bao, Kwai Fei, Beautiful South. I'm just Macan. So, I'm so glad that Asian culture has come to Charleston because obviously we have so much low country food, right? It's literally everywhere. And I love seafood. I love the low country. But I want us to be more of like a boiling pot, kind of like New York, because food here is great, but they have Little Italy in New York. They have Chinatown in New York. They just literally have an immersive amounts of food culture that I would love to bring here.
Wow. I know I'm being redundant, but let me ask you, what else is missing from the food culture in generalities?
You know what? Bin 2 is
Yes.
also on the top of my list, but they're very small. They're smaller, and I think that the seating is very limited. But
Yes.
I would love, like, I love the hands-on food. What is that? It's a kind of like a bread, but you like make it malleable with your
Right.
hands, and then you kind
Sure.
of dip it in the food.
Right.
I feel like Gola food is not as big as I would love to be. Like, because Vietnamese food, there's like probably about 5 spots, but I feel like in Charleston, there's only one known Gola spot, which is been to right in downtown. So I feel like a lot of like for us, that's people refer that to as street food, like any food that we use our hands with, or like Asian food is referred to as street foods. But really, I feel like African food, Vietnamese food, we use so much more spices and herbs and things that I feel like most American fare is kind of like butter, salt, pepper, maybe like parsley. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. In Charleston, what is really considered street food that's considered something else elsewhere?
Have no idea, to be honest. Well, I feel like street food
Yes, ma'am.
that's considered here, like everyone, when they think of Vietnamese food, they immediately think of pho, right?
Mm,
Or banh mi.
yeah.
Pho is actually in Vietnam. It is a breakfast, lunch, and dinner food, and that's because Asians in Vietnam they work long hours, so we kind of have a longer. We don't have like a breakfast, lunch, dinner. It's kind of like whatever you eat at the beginning of the day is gonna like sustain you for the rest of the day until whoever knows when your next meal is. So, like pho may be considered like a street food or banh mi, but banh mi also is breakfast, lunch, or dinner.
Huh. Obviously, in the African American community, we grew up on eggs and rice, and that's something you could eat, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But what's that Vietnamese food that you can eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner?
Personally, for me,
Yes, ma'am.
honestly, is it's super simple. It's French bread,
Huh.
an easy side up. Is it over easy? An over easy egg that's yolky, but like crispy on the outside, and then um, soy sauce.
Huh.
It's so similar to African American cultures.
Yes,
It's
ma'am.
we actually, when the French occupied Vietnam, they brought in that breakfast dish because they're French bread, and it's just always it's easy. It's it makes you full. It's also delicious. It's got the umami flavors from the soy sauce, so it just hits the spot.
What are those other foods here in Charleston that really hits the spot for you? I can name a couple of restaurants off the top of my head, but for you, what is that?
Oh my gosh, I'll have to pull up my feed. There is so many.
Yes, ma'am.
Honestly, I can't narrow it down to like one that truly hits. Okay, well, recently I went to Beautiful South, and if you didn't know, they're doing a promo right now. I'm actually on their tote bags for their limited time merch. Um, but their Hong Kong noodles with the pork char siu, like it is the pork is perfectly seasoned. It's like has a sticky sauce on it. And then you get bok choy, you get shallots, and then you get this like burst of umami, and then of course everyone loves noodles, right? So that really has stuck out to me, and they're doing some fun stuff with their new chef, so they're always releasing out new menus and seasonal menus and stuff, so that would be one to check out.
Oh, so when it comes to obviously lifestyle and motherhood, what else are you checking out around here in Charleston?
I love finding like fun parks to go with my kids. Obviously, they love being outdoors, even though it's super hot right now. We love going to like splash pads at the Center Creek. Park. It's huge, and it's kind of just like the Park Circle park as well. But the
Sure.
Park Circle park, I don't believe, has a splash pad where it shoots out water. So I love finding spots like that, and then I also like to travel in and around Charleston to also help families find like little getaways that you can sneak off to, either if it's just you and your partner or with your family.
So, what has changed your lifestyle with these discoveries?
Oh my gosh. Well, we've taken more trips because I feel like when you have kids, you don't think it's like accessible to travel a lot, or you don't think there's like kid friendly places and things to do. But when you do all this research and then people are like, oh my gosh, I had no idea this was here. And I had no idea that there was trails that kids could go on that were paved and stuff like that. So it's eye opening that you can still have a fun and adventurous life with kids.
With kids? Okay, so what's the balance? What's your balance for juggling kids and having a lifestyle?
Oh my gosh, it took us a while to get this interview scheduled. We've been going back and forth.
Oh, it's all good.
Like right now, Milo is taking a nap, so I had to put
Okay,
him down really quick
sure,
before I
sure.
got on here. And then I think finding a balance is like knowing your boundaries. Like I say yes to things that are new and that I want to learn more about, or help spread the word about. And then I say no to things that just either doesn't fit in my time, or it doesn't benefit me or my family. And honestly, I know this is like so cliche, but having a little planner, like having a planner, writing down the things you need to do for the day, utilizing your iCal, and really setting your intentions like each week, with your partner. Like with my husband, I say, hey, this is what I have to do this week, and then we have X, Y, and Z days to spend together or do family things, because um, in 2024 we have to focus on our mental health, our um, physical health, our work life, our family life, and if you have pets, it's like so many things we have to worry about. So we really have to set our boundaries on our time.
Boy, what are those things when it comes to obviously, you know, blogging and being well, the content creator and a food blogger? What are those things that help you take away your worries?
Oh my goodness. I don't know, because I feel like social media is ever changing, right? There's new
Mm,
releases of features. There's also, I don't know, like what happens when when they find the new Instagram, right? Like, because it used to be Facebook, and then it's Instagram, then
Yes.
it's TikTok, and
Right.
then it's Threads. So,
Right.
like, it's really just being flexible and learning to adjust to new things. Like when the reels were released, it used to be Instagram used to be just pictures, right?
Yes. Yes.
So we had to be flexible with it and also change with um, the new features and whatnot.
Wow. So how do you balance that flexibility on social media when you're trying to create all of this content?
Oh my gosh. So I dedicate specific days where I batch edit multiple pieces. Like I'll do, like yesterday, I just sat down and legit for 3 hours and just edited 4 pieces of content. And then today, this morning, I woke up early after I dropped off my son at summer camp. I went in and drafted all the captions. So it is very, I feel like people think like content creators, you just go out, take the photos, post it. There's so much more that goes into it. And, the captions, the hashtags, the right time to post, engaging with your audience. So it's just, yeah, we have to really be intentional and block out times for specific things. Like on the weekends, I go out to different spots and scope it out, and then take the content then. And then the rest of the week is either editing, drafting, and all that other fun stuff.
I know you're a busy mom and a wife and a food blogger and a content creator, but how do you actually engage with your audience? Who is your audience?
My audience is people that love food, moms trying to find easy meals to like. I also share my own recipes during the week because I feel like we can't always be eating out because
Hmm.
that can get expensive.
Wow.
So I also share like I said, trips in and around town. So it's mostly families and people that love food. And I engage with them by replying to their messages. I want my audience to know that they're seen too. And if they have recipe requests, I make note of it and then I try to make it the following week and share that recipe with them. I try to also answer my DMs and just stay in touch with my following because I feel like there are some creators that get so big and then they kind of lose like their main focus was connecting with their followers in the first place, right?
But yeah, you're right about that. Hey, I know you love food immensely. So, which one of those foods describes you?
Oh my gosh. I think I would be like a spicy pork dumpling.
Wow, why? Why?
Why? I am small and petite, but once you bite into that dumpling, it can be a lot. It
Yeah, I bet.
could
I
be
bet.
really hot too.
Hot too. Yeah, yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. Speaking of hot, what else do you want to create as far as content next?
Um, I this year or the next year in 2025, I want to share more um places to travel with your family and not just based in Charleston, but I want to do like Greenville. I want to do Asheville, like because I feel like I've done a lot in Charleston. I also want to share the chefs that are in and around Charleston. Obviously, the Food and Wine Festival is coming here.
Right.
So that is also a great opportunity to connect with different chefs from all over the world. The reason why I really got into restaurants and food is getting to know the chefs, like the chefs behind the food and what their travels were, where did they learn their niche and their favorite cuisines because a lot of it has to do with like what you grew up upon and your family and stuff like that. So I think that's very interesting.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Well, mom, content creator and food blogger, Hoang Vi Fessenden, thank you so much for your time. And again, welcome to Quintin's Close Ups.
Thank you. Bye.